Today is October 9th. It's about 4:45 in the afternoon and it's right around 92 degrees. You can see that the mom is getting orange. And that one down there too. And I planted the other grass over there. You can't see it because of the shrub. And we're probably going to remove most of those. Okay, I noticed last week how loud the air conditioner was. So I'm going to just go past it quickly. Plant some aloe vera. We got the salvia that was out front. I put part of it in this container, this little whiskey barrel, and I painted both of those whiskey barrels. We finished off this pot, and this has a ponytail grass in it. I moved the cannas from that small pot over there to this one because I noticed I was going to put the aloe vera here, but I noticed that it gets too much afternoon sun. So cannas can handle that. Aloe vera probably can't. So this was in this whiskey barrel here. And I also painted this whiskey barrel. So I moved that out. That is geranimer. And I'm going to collect a bunch of it. It's the stuff that gets the little purple flowers and the bees love it. And I'm going to be putting that up on the top area of our yard. Because this is what it is. That bush right there. And I can keep them small like that and they'll be pretty because even in the summer those look good. So these have ponytail, I think that's what they're called. Puppy love ponytail. I don't know where I got that. I have had a sip of wine, but these are puppy love fountain grass, and that's what that one is over there too. And they were really root bound, so I tried to straighten them out as much as I can, and we shall see what happens. So these two pots here, last night we took these out of the rocks, both of these, redid the watering, redid the pots so that they're no longer have any weep holes on the bottom. Now they're on the sides of the containers. In this one I did have some tree roots growing up. In that one it looks more like I had part of this stuff that was growing in there. But it had some roots, just not as much as this one. So I planted a part of the petunia that was still in this pot that looks like it might be good. And then the salvia that's in here, and the one back there is from that pot out front. So I got quite a bit of salvia. That's pretty. I still can't believe I called that ponytail. Puppy love. Puppy love. Okay. This is the prairie wind. Cheyenne. It's pretty. I love the way the sun hits it. Prairie. I'm going to show the tags since I can be making up stuff as I go along. But that's what both of these are. And they were not as root bound. So they're also smaller plants, but I was happy to see. I cut out some of the dead that was on them, but they did quite well. I mean, they were easier to plant, shall I say. I had cleaned all of this up on Wednesday, and I already have a bunch of tree leakage, I call it. Anywho, now, typically I do my, isn't that pretty? I love the way the sun's hitting on this. Typically I do my videos in the morning, so when I go this direction, I'm not dealing with the sun. Today is an exception. Look at how big this zucchini has gotten. It's a good size, real good size. Oh, the red lantana that was in the little whiskey barrel that was over against the side of the house, I planted here, and we thought it had died, but it actually still has some green on it. So I planted it right here. I hope it's one of these, so hopefully it'll turn out okay. There's the pots I'm gonna swap, but today was Sunday, and I decided today is a day of rest. We've been going at it pretty hot and heavy. There's a little yellow squash. That's kind of cool. I didn't think of any more lessons learned, except I will say this, that I'm going to start only growing drought tolerant. Look at this. That's amazing how that spills over. It's pretty. I might take some of that and put it where that lavender is. That lavender only looks good once a year, plus I now know I need to cut it back all the time. But this geranium is what I'm going to pull out quite a bit of and plant up on top. And we're probably going to have somebody come and remove our trees up there. That's what my husband wants to do anyway. I don't think these squash over here are doing much better, but look at the goji berries. Those bushes are coming back full force. It's pleasing to see that. And then I do have some black-eyed Susan. You can see them over there now. Not a bunch, but a few. Lots of peppers. Lots of peppers. Those are going like crazy right there. So are these. I sprayed these down just with some water, and I think it helped them. I started to take this out, didn't get very far because we just did more pots or containers this week than I had anticipated. So maybe I'll show this, the sky with the trees. This is pretty. That's really pretty. We've also had quite a few grasshoppers. These are coming back pretty strong, actually. And we're just, whoops, here's a cypress vine right here, right in the rocks. And the more I read on these, the more I don't want them growing up as, they're like bindweed in that family. I shouldn't say they are, but they're in that family. And once I read that, I kind of went, oh no. Like I'm gonna pull them off of this arch here, because they're going over into the garden, and everywhere they drop all this stuff, seeds form, which I think I'll be able to keep them out of here if I want to. I just let them go wild this year, but I don't know if I do that all the time. So this is the back side of the jungle, and we're just kind of letting it go wild. And there's lots of serranos, lots of flowers too, so that's kind of cool. Okay, I think that's about it. I still have some eggplant. These beans, I'm just letting them go to seed. Same way with cinnamon basil. I don't believe I have any Roma tomatoes yet, but I do. Oh yes, I have some forming right there. Those are the first ones I've seen, so that's exciting. I'll be watching for red ones on there. I picked a few of these. I haven't picked any off of this one, but I probably should. The bees just love it in this basil, and so do the wasps. I thought that was a hornworm. Angelonia. We do have a few clouds. I don't know if I mentioned this. The highs are supposed to get in the low 90s this week and in the low 60s, I believe. It says 50, high 50s. I don't believe that. I think they're wrong. But we shall see. This week, they changed a couple of times, and I think that's kind of what we had this past week, is low 90s, high 60s for the low, or mid 60s for the low. I know one night it got to 66. It's pretty to see that bougainvillea and then see the pomegranate tree in the background. It's pretty. Anyway, that's my garden diary. Today is October 3rd, and this is what we got out of the yard. Pomegranates. I only brought in the ones that were kind of split, and one was so split the birds have already been eaten out of it, so I just left it on the tree. And then if they look like they were gonna split, I picked those. I am not as familiar with pomegranates as I should be, so I know not too long ago they were really red as far as the outside of them, and then when I peeked in one that was cracking, it didn't have any red seeds inside of it. At least these have red seeds, so that's why I felt safe going ahead and getting those. Although this one, I don't know that it has a whole lot of red seeds. This might be the exception. But anyway, that's my little haul of pomegranates. Today is the 5th of October, and I wanted to get some eggplant for sauteing for dinner, so I think it's the 5th of October and I got 5 eggplants they're the long purple kind. Today is October 9th, and this is what I got out of the garden. This is pretty substantial. And then just a few tomatoes that look like cherry tomatoes, but they're really off of the ones that are bigger, more like saladettes. So it's because the heat kind of got to them for a while, I think. But maybe they'll bounce back.